Assalamu alaikum and good day to everyone. Sir Abeel, Ahmed is back with the third lecture. In the previous class, I gave you this homework, and I strongly believe many of you have definitely attempted this, should have attempted, obviously, this question. Let's see who has the correct answer. In this question, we have employment income and interest income. We know that interest income is the saving income, okay? So let's calculate income tax liability. Employment income. Employment income is £40,000. Interest income, saving income is £25,000. Interest income is £25,000. Simply add, you will get net income 65,000 minus the personal allowance 12570. We're getting taxable income. Let me use my magic calculator. 65,000 minus 12,570, that gives us 52,430. So the taxable income is 52,430. Now let's calculate the tax. Non-saving income. Saving income. Total. Employment income is 40,000. Interest income, saving income is 25. The total is 65. Personal allowance is 12,570. Taxable income. 40,000 minus 12,570 gives us 27,430. Obviously, I'll get 52,430. Now let's see income tax. First, you have to tax non-saving income, basic rate band. Non-saving, obviously, the entire 27,430 from the non-saving income falls in basic rate band, where applicable tax rate is 20%. So 27,430 into 20%. I'm getting 5,486. So basic rate band, non-saving, entire taxable income 27,430 obviously falls in basic rate band. Okay. Now we have to move towards saving income, interest income. Before applying the tax rate on saving income, we need to check individual's tax paying status. If individual is a basic rate taxpayer, then that individual gets nil rate band of 1,000 on its saving income. Someone who is a high rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of 500. If someone is an additional rate taxpayer, does not get any nil rate band on its saving income. But so far, we have not seen any question in which additional rate was tested. Later on, obviously, inshallah, we'll be discussing maybe in the next class. How do we decide the taxable status? It's very simple. Again, I would say just focus where I'm going to make a shortcut. You have to see the column of total. Look at the in the column of total, the total taxable income is 52,430. You can even check over here also. Your taxable total income is 52,430. Obviously, 52,430, which is more than the limit of the basic rate band. The basic rate band limit is 37,700. Since taxable income is more than the limit of basic rate band, so obviously this individual is a high rate taxpayer. And whoever is a high rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of 500 pounds. So let's see, nil rate band, saving income, 500 to 0% is obviously 0. Now it's very interesting. Now you have to check how much space is still left in the entire basic rate band. Actually, the basic rate band limit is 37,700. Out of that, 27,430 is consumed in non-saving income. 500 actually we have utilized in nil rate band. So how much is left? 37,700 minus 27,430 minus 500. I'm getting 9,770. Still in basic rate band, we have a limit of 9,770. So basic rate band, saving income, and still we are having a space of 9,770. Applicable tax rate is 20%. 1,954. Now let us see how much of the saving income now actually falls in higher rate band, where applicable tax rate is 40%. The total interest income, saving income is 25,000. Out of this 25, 500 we have taken in nil rate band. 9,770 we have taken in basic rate band. Now basic rate band is fully utilized. So obviously now we are going towards higher rate band, where applicable tax rate is 40%. So what do you have to do? From this 25,000 interest income, from this 25,000 interest income, saving income, you have to deduct the nil rate band of 500. You have to deduct 9,770. Whatever the remaining amount is, actually that falls in higher rate band. And simply, if you just make the total of these three, it is 37,700. It means the basic rate band we have utilized. So obviously the turn is now it's a time to go for higher rate band, where applicable tax rate is 40%. Higher rate band, saving income. So from this 25,000 minus the 500 minus 9,770, I'm getting 14,730, where applicable tax rate is 40%. 5,892. 19545486. I'm getting income tax liability of 13,332. This is your income tax liability. This is your income tax liability, 13,330. That's great. Now let's introduce something new. What is that something new? Obviously, something interesting, I would say. Let's say we have Mr. A in the question. Employment income is let's say 10,000. Saving income is let's say 20,000. Required. Calculate income tax liability. Let's try. Let me directly calculate liability for you. Well, you can do this normally. Employment income is 10,000. Saving income, interest income is 20,000. Net income, or you can say total, is 30. Let me deduct the personal allowance 12570. So 30,000 minus 12,570, I'm getting 17,430. We have obviously non-saving income. We do have saving income also. And total. Non-saving income, which is employment income, 10,000. Saving is 20. Total is obviously 30. Personal allowance, obviously, first you have to deduct from the non-saving income. Now listen. In the column of non-saving, you just have 10,000. So first you have to deduct the personal allowance from the non-saving income. Still, the personal allowance is left. So remaining personal allowance now will be deducted from the saving income, which is 2570. So here comes your taxable income, 17,430. 17,430. Okay, now we have to calculate income tax. Now listen and listen carefully. Please listen and listen carefully. You have to be alert. You have to be very attentive. What I'm going to tell you right now. I'm going to introduce something new, but I really want you to focus. Okay? Now listen. Just focus on non-saving income column. In the non-saving income column, after deducting the personal allowance, the taxable income is 0. Taxable. I don't have any taxable income. Look at this. I don't have any taxable income in the column of non-saving. If you don't have any taxable income in the column of non-saving, it means you do not have any taxable income in the column of non-saving. So obviously you have to tax now saving income. So since there is no non-saving income, now you are going to obviously tax saving income, interest income. Now, the concept of starting rate band falls. This concept of starting rate band comes for the saving income. It wasn't there before because whenever in the column of non-saving, after deducting the personal allowance, if your taxable income is less than 5,000 pounds, only in that case, starting rate band comes. In this question, non-saving income, the taxable non-saving income is 0. So you will get entire starting rate band for the first 5,000 of saving income. When do we use starting rate band? Just right now, keep one thing in your mind. Whenever after deducting personal allowance from the non-saving column, if your final answer is either less than 5,000, whenever it is less than 5,000, then starting rate band comes. Right now, it is 0, which means entire starting rate band is available. So starting rate band, obviously saving income, 5,000 into 0% is obviously 0. Definitely this individual is a basic rate taxpayer. Whoever is a basic rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of 1,000 pounds for the saving income. Nil rate band, saving income. Now, out of this 17,430, 5,000 we have taken in starting rate band, 1,000 in the nil rate band. So how much is remaining? So from 17,430, just deduct 6,000. This 5 and this 1,000. We are still having 11,430. That obviously falls in basic rate band. We only have saving income in this question, 11,430, where applicable tax rate is 20%. If you add all this, you will get this. So 11,430 into 20%, I'm getting 2286. So simply double 286 is your income tax liability. Now let's do one more question. Do not worry about starting rate band concept at all. Please wait, hold on. Let us do few more questions. Practice. Automatically we'll be having a really good grip. Just calm down. Please don't be panic. Don't panic, okay? We are here to look after you. Don't worry at all. Now you might be thinking, sir, you are in your country, I'm in my country. Okay, but virtually, I was just telling you virtually. Okay, another question. Employment income. Is, let's say it is 15,000. We have employment income 15,000. Saving income is 12. A requirement is simply you need to calculate income tax liability. Let's directly solve this. So the net income is 27,000. Let us deduct personal allowance 12570. $14,430. Taxable income is 14,430. Okay. Non-saving income. Saving income. Total. The non-saving income, which is employment income, is 15,000. Saving income is 12. Person house, we have to deduct 12,570. $14,430. Okay. Now, income tax. Please, now how do you apply income tax? Obviously, first you have to apply tax rates on non-saving income. In the column of non-saving income, now this time we have taxable income of 2430. So base obviously 2,430 taxable income in the column of non-saving falls in basic rate band. Non-saving 2430 into 20%. 2430 into 20%. I'm getting 486. Okay. Now we have to move towards saving income. Now listen and listen carefully. Since in the column of non-saving, your taxable income is less than 5,000 pounds, so you have to think for the starting rate band. Repeat. Since in the column of non-saving, taxable income is less than 5,000 pounds, now you have to think for the starting rate band. But what amount of starting rate band comes in this question? Starting rate band limit is 5,000. We are having a taxable income in the column of non-saving income 2430. So actually this 2430 has consumed your starting rate band. Even though the applicable tax rate is 2430 is 20%, but it has consumed the starting rate band. So how much starting rate band is left? 5,000 minus 2430 gives me 2570. In this question, you will not be getting entire 5,000 starting rate band for the saving income. Why? Because in the column of non-saving income, your taxable income is 2430, which means that you will not be getting the entire 5,000 starting rate band for the saving income. From the 5,000, you have to deduct 2430, whatever is left. That means this much starting rate band is left, which is 2,570. So starting rate band, saving income, 2570, applicable tax rate is 0% and obviously 0. By looking at 14,430, we can easily say this individual is a basic rate taxpayer. Whoever is a basic rate taxpayer gets nil rate band of 1,000 for the saving income. Nil rate band, saving income, 1,000 into 0% is 0. So you are having saving income in this question. Total saving income is 12,000. Out of that 12, we have taken 2570 in a starting rate band, 1,000 for the nil rate band. So how much saving income is left? From 12,000, let me deduct 2570 minus 1,000. So I still have 8430 that obviously falls in basic rate band. 843. Applicable tax rate is 20%. 1686. So your income tax liability is 2,172. This is your income tax liability. Now let me tell you one thing. You just need to remember one thing when the starting rate band concept comes and when it does not come. Listen, A. If taxable income in non-saving income column is greater than equal to 5,000, then starting rate band for saving income is not applicable. So simply if the taxable income in the non-saving column, taxable income means after deducting the personal allowance. If the taxable income in the column of non-saving is either it is 5,000 or more, then a starting rate band concept does not come. So starting rate band rule does not come for the saving income. Like in the previous question, you can see that I did not discuss any starting rate band. Look at this. If I go back here, look at this one. The taxable income is more than 5,000. It is 27,430. That is why in this question, we did not say anything about starting rate band. Even if you go for the previous questions as well. Look at this over here as well. Yes. We only have employment income over here, so there's no saving income. So no question of starting rate band. So simply you can look at this. Wherever in the column of non-saving your answer is either 5,000 or more, then there's no rule of starting rate band applicable on saving income. Now let me write one more thing, B. If taxable income in the column of non-saving is, let's say, 0, is number one. Just an example. If taxable income in the column of non-saving is 0, starting rate band limit for saving income. If in the column of non-saving your taxable income is 0, then entire 5,000 starting rate band is available to you in the saving income. Second, let's say if your taxable income after deducting the obviously personal allowance from the non-saving income, your result is, let's say, 2,000. If taxable income in the column of non-saving income is 2,000, on which the applicable tax rate is 20%. So simply, if your taxable income in the column of non-saving is 2,000, then starting rate band is available to you 3,000. Third, if taxable income in the column of non-saving is 4,000, still you will be getting a starting rate band of 1,000. If taxable income in the column of non-saving is 6,000, you will not be getting any starting rate band. So simply the starting rate band is only applicable when in the column of non-saving your taxable income is less than 5,000. Only then starting rate band concept comes, otherwise it does not come. So I've given you plenty of examples when how much starting rate band would be available to you. Now let us introduce third source of income, that is, which is dividend income. What if individual is getting some of the income from the non-saving income, some of the income is coming from the saving income, and some of the income is coming from the dividend income as well? How do we apply tax, and what are the tax rates for the dividend income? Actually, for the dividend income, we are having the least, lowest, I would say, tax rates. And these tax rates will be given to you in exam, don't worry at all. If I quickly show you. Just a minute. Dividend income. In case of basic rate band, dividend income tax rate is 8.75%. High rate band dividend income rate is 33.75, and additional rate it is 39.35. So if your dividend income falls in basic rate band and you have a limit in the basic rate band, applicable tax rate is 8.75%. In case of high rate band, applicable tax rate is 33.75%. Additional rate for the dividend income is 39.35%, and these tax rates would be given to you in exam as well. Don't worry at all. Another thing is, in case of dividend income, every individual gets nil rate band of £1,000, irrespective of individual's tax paying status. Repeat. In case of dividend income, every individual gets nil rate band of £1,000, irrespective of individual's tax paying status. Either that person is a high rate taxpayer, basic rate taxpayer, or an additional rate taxpayer, does not matter. Dividend income, always first £1,000 they get nil rate band. So dividend income, the nil rate band is 1,000. Let's see. Non-saving income. Just to save the time, I really want to show you the calculation. Non-saving income. The second column is obviously saving income. Third one is dividend. Let's make the column of total as well. Assuming the employment income is 20,000, I'm just assuming it is 20,000. Saving income, I'm assuming it is 40. Dividend income is 1,000, 10,000. So the total is 70. Let us deduct personal, obviously from the non-saving income, 12,570. 12,570. Taxable income. 20,000 minus 12,570. Taxable income is 7,430. Since the taxable income in the column of non-saving is more than £5,000, that is why starting rate band rule does not apply in this question. So 70 minus 12570. This 57,430. Obviously, first you have to apply a tax rate on the non-saving income. income tax. The taxable income in non-saving column is 7430. Obviously, entire income falls in basic rate bank. 7430 into 20% is 1486. Since in the column of taxable income after deducting the personal allowance, taxable income is more than 5,000 pounds, that is why starting rate band concept does not apply in this question. Now you directly jump to, let's directly jump to nil rate band for the saving income. And how much nil rate band is available in case of saving income depends on the individual's tax paying status. If an individual is a basic rate taxpayer, gets nil rate band of 1,000 pounds. In case of higher rate taxpayer gets 500 nil rate band, and in case of an additional rate taxpayer does not get any nil rate band for the saving income. But when it comes to dividend income, irrespective of individual's tax paying status, every individual gets nil rate band of 1,000 pounds. How do we decide the individual's tax paying status? By looking at the column of, you just focus only on one thing, total of the total column taxable income. The total taxable income is 57,430, which is obviously more than the limit of basic rate band. So this individual is a high rate taxpayer. That is why this individual gets nil rate band 500 pounds for the saving income. Nil rate band, saving income, 500 pounds, 0%. And obviously it is 0. Now let's see how much space is left in basic rate band. Actually, the basic rate band limit is 37,700. Out of this 37,700, we have consumed 7430. We have already used 500 as well. So let's see how much is left. 37,700 minus 7430 minus 500. I'm getting 29,770. So still in basic rate band, the space which is left is 29,770 into 20%. 5954. Okay, now out of 40,000, let's see how much of saving income falls in high rate band. Saving income total is 40,000. Out of this 4,500 we have taken in nil rate band. 29,770 we have taken in basic rate band. So from 40 you have to deduct 500 and 29,770. 40,000 minus 500 minus 29,770. So 40,000 minus 500 minus 29,770. I'm getting 9,730. So higher rate band because basic rate band is fully utilized. So the saving income out of 40, which falls in higher rate band, is 9,730. Applicable tax rate is 40%. 3,892. Now we have tax non-saving income, we have tax saving income, and now finally you have to tax dividend income, and you have to follow this order. First we apply tax rate on non-saving income, then we go for saving, and finally we go for dividend income. Okay. When it comes to dividend income, irrespective of individual's tax paying status, every individual gets nil rate band of 1,000 pounds in Finance Act 2023, and you are studying Finance Act 2023. Nil rate band, dividend income, 1,000 pounds, 0%. Obviously, we don't have any space in basic rate band. So out of 10,000 of the dividend income, 9,000 actually falls in high rate band, where applicable tax rate is 33.75. So 9,000, I'm getting 30,000, 37.5, so make it 38 with a round of 30,38. 1486 minus 5954 minus 3892 plus 3038. Total is 14,730. This is your income tax liability. So the income tax liability is 14,370. Now let me just give you a question. I really want every one of you to try to attempt this question. Employment income is 60. Saving income is 15. Dividend income is 5. And I really want income tax, and let's say pay as you earn also. That is 4,000. Requirement is income tax liability. All you need is just to calculate income tax liability. So I really want every one of you attempt this question. Do attempt this question. So request. Always I say one thing to my students, have a nice life. Because I don't want to say have a nice day. As I always say, life is itself very short, so day is obviously very short. So I really want you to have a nice life. Thank you very much for watching this lecture. Thanks a lot.